Hell in a Cell is tomorrow night, and it's been a interesting week of wrestling for sure. There's only one match on the card that we have to go over. There are no kickoff matches as far as we know. In fact, this is a 4-match card basically. I can only assume they're going to build this card as they go in, as the hours go by, or they're focusing more on the Saudi show, which is kind of just disappointing, but that ladder match easily could have been on this show. The ladder match last night easily could have been on tonight's show. The WWE title match easily could have been on tonight's show. There's other matches that were on SmackDown that could have been on the show. But you got to hype the season premiere. You got to hype the premiere on Fox. You got to do what you got to do. Nonetheless, the only match we have to go over is the SmackDown Women's Championship, which I'm assuming happened last night. I don't remember, or at least was made, I don't recall, but nonetheless, Bayley the Fans against Charlotte. It's a match we've seen time and time again. It was just to fill a card, basically. And honestly, it depends what you want to do for the draft. And it really boils down to that. If you want to keep Bayley on SmackDown, Bayley stays on SmackDown, because obviously the SmackDown titles and the Raw titles are going to stay on their respective brands. That goes with the SmackDown tag titles, the SmackDown women's title, and their respective women's and tags on Raw. They're obviously going to stay on those brands. It just wouldn't make sense if a Raw title went to SmackDown. Let me rephrase that. A Raw branded title, like the Raw women's title, the Raw tag title, something like that, going to SmackDown is weird to me, and would just be obsolete, really. It would just rename it the SmackDown tag title, and you just swap the belts and just swap the colors. It just makes no sense. Nonetheless, again, if you just want to keep Bayley in the draft, Bayley stays on SmackDown, or you want to keep Charlotte on SmackDown, which they desperately need Charlotte on SmackDown for sure. They have great women on there, but you need that star power in Charlotte. Either way, I will pick Bayley to retain due to Sasha shenanigans. And with that also being said, Bayley will somehow get into the cell, and Sasha wins that way. However, again, it depends what you want to do with the draft. Because the draft is next week. It starts next week on SmackDown, and it ends the week after on that week's Raw. It would make sense to do it the other way around, but they want to make SmackDown the bigger show. They want to make SmackDown the A show, so you have the draft there. I guess it makes sense in a way. However, with all that being said, this is a 4-match card, and we've gone over the other matches over the past few weeks. It'll be tomorrow night. It's been a great week of wrestling, a great weekend of wrestling for sure. And I'll just continue to week because you pretty much have a show almost every night of the week. And it's a great time to be a wrestling fan again. It's a great time to be alive. And we'll just see what happens if there's a makeshift kickoff match, or they just bump one of these off to be the kickoff match. They just hype the card for an hour. Who knows? We'll just see what happens.